Welcome to the CV review session. Shortly about our agenda today. First, I will share a few words about myself and why I'm here in front of you. Then we will work on 2 job descriptions and CVs. When I say work on, I mean we will first review a job description per role, figure out what is critical for this role, and then move to the CV to see if that's a good CV for this job description. By the way, when CVs are being reviewed standalone, I always feel like it's a little bit like, I don't want to say cheating, but a very good CV without a job description doesn't mean you would be invited to an interview. It's always important to compare these two, and that's what we will be doing today. And also there will be a Q&A session if we have any time left, and I believe we will have time left because I have reviewed 2 CVs a bit in advance, and they're very strong ones. So there won't be many things to fix. Okay, maybe a few words about me. I'm Lidiia Salo, even though some people think I'm a Finn because of my name and because how I look. But actually, I came to Finland around 8 years ago. I was living in Moscow, in Russia before, and I had a perfect life. I always like to tell this story of having a beautiful career right after graduating, developing very well in my career, and working for one of the best companies in the world. And I felt like I had it all, and I felt like I'm a little bit like I'm the best if I can work for such a great company and grow professionally. And then I moved to Finland. I moved to Finland because I not followed my husband, but my husband is a Finn and he lives here. And my expectations were like, I will find a job I always thought 3 months, maybe 4 absolute maximum. Because I thought, wow, I have the degree, I have the skills, I was working for a worldwide known company, but expectations were wrong. And I was hit with reality and I couldn't figure out what's happening. And 8 years ago, when I was applying for jobs, a normal response would be silence. So like we didn't even get rejection letters so much. I feel like it's a little bit better nowadays, but sometimes companies still, of course, ghost candidates. And I always explain that I'm not a giving up type. So I started digging deeper, figuring out what's happening, who gets hired in Finland, what are recruiters saying, what are hiring managers saying, what are people saying who get interviews, who get offers, who get hired. And that led to me being a volunteer for several years, helping people to get jobs, to improve in their job search process. I did get hired in my own area of expertise, and around 2.5 years ago, I found it get hired in Finland. And now I work mostly with experts to get better offers. Sometimes it's people who are laid off. Sometimes it's people who are working and want to change a job. Also, sometimes I have early career clients in my group mentorship, but mainly it is people who already have experience. And I do both individual and group mentorships and also providing 1-hour individual consultations. This is very, very shortly about me. If you don't have me on LinkedIn yet, you can add me as a connection. The QR code is there. I hope that was short enough. I hate long speeches, and I like to be very get to work as fast as possible. So now I will be sharing the first job description. And so the thing is, we have 2 people who agreed to participate as volunteers. Many asked, but I was choosing based on how quickly you registered. So first come, first served. Is that the right way of saying that? And The first person we will review the CV of agreed to be talking about this role, and the second one preferred to be anonymous. So let's have a look at the job description first. I'm sharing my screen in a moment. And if we have Natalie here on the
Yes,
call.
hello.
Yay, hi. Thank you for joining. So in front of you is the job description that you have sent to me. It's a performance marketer B2C. And if it's okay, is it okay if I ask you what is really important for a company in this role? What are they
Yes.
looking for?
Yeah, from this job description, I think it's crucial for them that candidate has hands-on experience with multiple channels, such as Meta, Google, TikTok marketing, then some hands-on experience with AI tools and interest to the product.
Mm-hmm. I also noticed the same. Um, Another thing that they mentioned is that you need to have hands-on experience, so doing it practically yourself, running advertising ads.
Yes.
And it's best if you have done it before for an app or a subscription product. So
Yes,
that
correct.
alone makes you stand out immediately. And they want you to know all the major ad platforms. And as you mentioned, AI is a big, big thing as well. And it would be a bonus if you also can produce visuals, so copy, short form video, images. So if you know that, and if you know SEO, ASO, or organic growth channel, so it would be also a big advantage for this role. Okay, by the way, the job description is very well written. I feel like everything that needs to be there is there. It's clear, clean, easy to work on. And now I will be sharing a CV of Natalia. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so you can see the CV. And I suggest we analyze it a little bit in two steps. One would be the basics, and the second step would be to dive a little bit deeper. So, what are the basics of a CV? When you work as a recruiter, for example, and you have 200, 300, 400 people who applied, you need to very quickly decide, do you want to move on with a person with a CV or not? And I have this kind of a funny rule that is called the 10-second rule that basically says that does this person have the basic requirements for the role or not? If the person passes the 10-second rule, then they might dive deeper and study the profile even deeper and more. So let's check the basics. First of all, contact information. Are you in Finland? Yes, you are. You're in Helsinki. And you might have had a phone number here, so it should be Finnish as well. And an email is also hidden. So it is important to write your location because some ATS systems might be sorting CVs based on a location because many people apply from abroad and companies are just simply not willing to relocate people to Finland because there are enough good candidates. Okay, I'm studying your profile further. The second thing that is being noticed usually, it's a summary. And in your case, you do not have a summary and you have core competencies and technical skills. Let's have a look at those. So you have done both B2B and B2C performance marketing, and the role was B2C.
Mhm.
You have done growth marketing. You say you have done AI-powered marketing. Okay, everything makes sense until now. You are not writing about your soft skills, saying that I am fast learner or blah, blah, blah. You're really focusing on competencies from a technical perspective. And then technical skills. So Google Ads, Meta Ads, LinkedIn Ads, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, native ads. So just looking at that, I have the feeling that you can do the job until now.
Mhm.
And you also have some other tools that are used in your area of expertise. The second thing or the third thing that is being checked is job titles and companies where you worked for, as well as years of experience. So let's have a look at yours. Senior Performance Marketing Manager, and it's an app, if I understand it correctly, right?
Yeah, it's an app.
Yeah, amazing. Very good. AI-powered English learning app. Mhm. Then B2B performance marketing specialist working at Volt, also a very good sign. Growth and user acquisition manager, Volt, amazing. Digital marketing manager. So until now, everything makes sense to me. And it's, to be honest, it's not a default. I have been reviewing thousands and thousands and thousands of CVs, and it's people whose CVs make sense, they get invited to interviews faster. Now let's have a look at, this role was a B2C one. I'm checking, have you done B2C or do you only have B2B here? B2B position.
This one
This
was
one is
B2C,
B2C.
but yeah, maybe I need to specify it. And Master English is B2C as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So this is just a very small
Mhm.
improvement that you could have done just because they have mentioned it on
Mhm.
purpose. But I understood that this one is like definitely B2C. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. And years 18, 19, 21, 24, you have enough years of experience for this role. So good news, the basics are there. So most likely, even without diving deep, they would have the first interview with you, the screening one with the recruiter. That's good news. Now let's dive even a little bit deeper. Let's check if you have keywords from the job description in your CV. So basically all these things that I have mentioned and I have highlighted, all the tools you worked with in paid acquisition campaigns, campaign operations, A/B tests, AI tools. Um, well, if you have worked, of course, you monitor, analyzed, and reported on KPIs. And so apps, subscription products, and the same is repeated here. Okay, and if you have produced copy and if you know SEO, so and so on. Let's have a look at that. Oops, sorry, wrong one. So for that, I'm diving deeper and just reading what you have done at these companies. Very, very well written. So you owned and scaled paid acquisition, and you also describe the markets, 6 international markets, and it was an AI-powered English learning app. Good job. Meta and Google Ads, and you can even measure your work. Very good as well. Okay, good. So you have been doing B2C before and started doing B2B as well.
Yeah.
And you build a funnel from scratch for new products. This is also, it means that you can do it like, I would want to talk to you, to be honest, based on what's written, and I would want to know more. How exactly you build a funnel from scratch? How did it go? What were the challenges? What did you learn? Mm-hmm. Well, here it says draw a consistent pipeline of high quality leads. I would even maybe just a very small improvement on top. I would even define like the quantity or anything you can measure these leads, if that's possible, not always possible. And you develop creative concepts. Nice job. Mm. So you also owned budget planning. They
Yeah.
requested that. You can measure KPI, you can measure growth, and you did A/B testing. That was a part of the requirement as well. Okay, Twitter ads. And SEO is also here. So I feel like you did a very good job with this CV. It fits the job description quite well. The only thing that I didn't notice is AI.
Mhm.
So when, and how did you use AI?
Yeah, makes sense. It was at in my latest role, and I didn't put it yet to the description.
They have mentioned it twice in the
Mhm.
job description, so it might be something that would make you stand out even more. But nothing to worry about. Most likely, they would ask it in an interview, asking what are the tools you were using and how did you use those tools. But I feel like most of everything is here. That's why I said you have a very strong CV. And structurally, it's well done. Education is here, job work experience is here. I prefer summaries because
Mm.
it's a nice way to stand out. But it's not hurting you that you don't have one because your core competencies and technical skills covers that. And also you say you have 6 years of experience on top. So I feel like you covered everything that should be in a summary across these 3 blocks of
Mhm.
text.
Glad to hear.
Yeah. When I first, I also can share a little bit. It's a personal thing, so you can completely ignore what I say. Um, when I first opened your CV, it looked a little bit design-wise, template-wise, a little bit like, mm, I don't want to say outdated because
Mhm.
everything is there. Everything important is there. When I spend a bit of time with your CV, I got used to it and I stopped noticing that. But as soon as I opened it, I felt like you working in marketing can have even a cleaner template.
Mhm.
If like if I'm clear enough. So um, but again, it's not something you should be stressing out about. If it gets you interviews the way it is now, then nothing to worry.
Do you have any templates base that you could probably suggest and share?
I can share after this meeting, I can send you all the recording and also share a simple CV template. It's clean and clear, um, but it doesn't have a photo. So
Mhm.
you can have a look, but I don't want to force you to change it if you feel very good with this one.
Uh, Lidia, I had a question on this.
Mhm.
Is the CV ATS compliant? Do you think?
When we talk about a CV being ATS compliant, a few things should be mentioned. First of all, for those who are listening to this and are wondering what is an ATS, ATS is a software that legally allows companies to store your data. So basically, if you come to a company and say, I want you to remove all my data, they should be able to do it with one click. And if they do not have an ATS, for example, a company can use a Google Drive. Then you come to them, say, remove all my data. Then they would need to go through emails, through files. So, it's a headache. So ATS systems exist to protect companies against or for GDPR rules. And it's also an easy way to manage all the applications, all the stages. Now, what you are asking is when someone asks if it is ATS compliant, as soon as it is saved as a PDF, it is ATS compliant. But I think your question was a little bit even deeper because some ATS systems are using an AI, and this AI is ranking CVs based on keywords. At the same time, this ranking is simply not good enough. What is happening in Finland? Recruiters still go CV by CV and they approve or reject them quite quickly. It doesn't take more than 10 seconds to decide to move on or reject a candidate. So I hope I answered your question. This CV is ATS compliant, yes. Any CV saved in a PDF would be ATS compliant. There are no tables here, there are no pictures here, just text. So everything is clean and clear. I wouldn't worry about it. But first, before moving forward, I would like to ask Natalia, what do you think about this, everything I have mentioned regarding your CV?
Yeah, I think one useful takeaway for me to specify B2C roles, because B2B I mentioned directly, and probably add in AI block. It is quite new, but it's popular in job descriptions now. And here I could definitely test more templates.
Yeah, thank you. In general, you can go through all the highlighted things and check if you have mentioned everything you have done. And
Yeah,
I feel like you have done lots of things here. For example, bid management. If it hasn't been mentioned, you can also include it. Yeah. So I hope that helps. You have high chances of being invited to an interview, and to be honest, you can do the job. Definitely. So I wish you a lot of luck, and I wish you an offer as well. Please
Thank
write
you.
to me then when you hear from the company.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
So I suggest we move to the next job description. I see there are some messages, but we can come back to those at the end when there is time. And the second job description is for a person who decided to stay anonymous, and I really respect that wish as well. And it's for a senior project manager or scientists in hydrogen technologies. Please correct me. Hydrogen, is it correct? That's
Yes.
how we pronounce it?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you a lot. So let's see what is really important in this role. You would initiate, prepare, and lead research projects and build a project portfolio. So even after reading that, I feel like it is a senior role, indeed, like they said. So you would also develop new research ideas and make them commercial. And there are funded projects you would need to take care of. And it's good if you have industrial experience already. And if you worked with fuel cell and I don't know how to pronounce that, electrolysis technologies. I hope that was correct.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. And the things I want you to do, again, they repeat a few things from the top. Initiate and prepare new research, development, and innovation projects. Managing a project portfolio. You would need to work with national and international projects. If you could highlight that already in your CV, that would be a good thing. And both commercial customer projects, client projects, and jointly funded one. For example, Business Finland, EU Academy of Finland. And I highlighted it twice, lead and coordinate project teams. So it is a really senior project marketing role. I'm just like speculating now, but I can like feel that many people who apply for this role might not be at that seniority level that they require. And you would need to support and mentor junior researchers in project work. So it's a well-written job description, by the way. And they also highlighted things again, and I put it with an underline, because everything that's written here can be a part of your summary. So an ideal summary for this role could be, I'm a senior project manager or a scientist with 10 years of experience and a proven track record in leading of large and demanding projects within the academy and industry. I also have a technology background in Power-to-X or fuel cells. And maybe something about mentoring, because this is quite unique. Not everyone has this skill. So basically, they wrote everything that for you that needs to be in a summary and in your CV as well. It's not an easy role. I mean, if someone listening now to us is not from this area of expertise, you might like feel a bit like dizzy. I might be too fast for you. And I'm really sorry for that. So maybe on a very high level, this is a project management role where you lead big, complex projects. And it's good if you have technical background in something very specific. Power-to-X, electrolysis, or fuel cells. And by the way, they also require you to have a degree in engineering, automation, chemical, or electrical, or engineering physics. So this is also important. They might check for that. And I think they also required a degree, master's or doctor's level. So bachelor's is not enough for this. And if you worked for industry, so industry is an actual company, then it's also a huge plus for you. So are you ready to have a look at the CV that we received for this role?
Yes.
Yay! Okay. When everyone sees a CV for the first time, I always suggest we start with basics. And basics are contact details, summary, job titles and companies, and years of experience. I can see you have a Finnish phone number, but I would also recommend you to include, I will mute you for a moment, to include a city and a country, only because some ATS systems have a filter based on location, as I mentioned before. And just say, no need to write the full address, by the way, just the city and a country is enough. So contact details are here. You're in Finland, most likely. You don't need the relocation support. Second, let's read your summary. Senior project manager and chemical engineer. Wow. 15 years in chemical engineering, in hydrogen and power-to-X technologies. Wow. Just reading that, I feel like I want to talk to you. So you have been leading and initiating R&D projects, project portfolios, and made research into industrial solutions. Again, I want to talk to you already now. Hands-on technical expertise with project leadership. Okay. You have been mentoring junior researchers. Wow, amazing. And okay, the first page also has core competencies, certification, and that's, by the way, exactly what they required. education, and then professional experience. So education, you have PhD and master's. So you fit. So far, everything fits, like everything that I have been reading. Now let's have a look at your previous roles. I cannot check the companies because it's confidential, but let's have a look. And I cannot count the years, but I trust your 15 years of experience. Senior process engineer in Helsinki, leading process specialist, process technology manager. So these are not quite project management. Okay, you have been a project manager and senior process specialist. Amazing. Professional. Okay, I don't know what professional freelancer means. And postdoctoral researcher. So until now, everything makes sense, but I'm just thinking, a recruiter might not be an expert in your field, in your exact field. So is a process specialist the same as project manager? That's a question that I had. And because everything until now makes so much sense, I would dive deeper in what you wrote here. Okay, you have done from R&D to industrial deployment. Perfect. Collaborated with different teams and you define those teams. Okay. You led and contributed to technology development projects, so hydrogen again. So it is like a project management role. So you have been leading multidisciplinary project teams, exactly like they asked, including engineers, technology providers, and business development functions. You supervised and mentored junior researchers. Amazing. So you have been a project manager for a nationally funded Power to X innovation project. Exactly what they need. Okay, also exactly what they need. And public funding, also one of their requirements. I would really want to know how you learned to make such a good CV. By the way, amazing job. Yeah. So, there is one more page, by the way, third page. It says selected R&D projects in hydrogen and energy transitions. Wow, so you also listed projects that are important for them to know about. Let's see what you have here. Yes, so with industrial partners, renewable hydrogen production. Wow, amazing. I think when I read your CV for the first time, I also saw that you have been working with Business Finland funds, but now I cannot quickly find it. But I believe I have seen it somewhere. Okay, skills are here, references available. Let's have a look. Yeah, nationally funded R&D programs, Business Finland, Academy of Finland. I would definitely invite you to an interview, and you must get an interview for this role. If you do not get an interview for this role, I don't believe the hiring process is ethical. Let's put it this way. So it's a very strong, very tailored, and exactly what they need type of a CV. If I try to think about a small improvement here, just like maybe you can completely ignore me if it doesn't sound right, but maybe just an idea, this process engineer, if you can like edit one of these titles, if you can call yourself senior process engineer and project manager, maybe that would make it even stronger. If you are, of course, if you're not lying, if you have been doing that thing. But of course, if we would have worked one-to-one, I would have asked you. So process specialist, process engineer, and how it relates to project management roles. But just a small thing, maybe like a recruiter would understand your profile better. But it's not stopping them from interviewing you. Yeah. Any questions anyone has regarding this particular application?
Lydia, I also put it in the chat, but
I cannot hear you.
15 plus.
I lost you completely when you were speaking. Could you please?
Okay, can you hear me now, right?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, the experience with 15 plus years of experience profiles. How many pages the CV can have? I mean, 2.5, 2, 3, 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
That was my question. So because we can't squeeze everything in 2 pages or maybe even 1 page, because if you do that, then it will be so messy. Maybe we might miss some keywords during that. Let's say compression. Let's say in 1 page, 2 page. So is it okay to have in 3 pages? Is it quite common?
I will answer. Thank you a lot for your question. Basically, if you have a lot of experience, it's okay to have it on 2 pages. And even in this case, 3 pages did not disturb me at all because the person brought up projects they were working in that are very relevant to this particular job. So it didn't hurt at all because everything is super clean and clear. And especially what I liked that from the first page, I realized that you have the enough experience to do the job. Even you have the certifications that they need and education that they need, and professional experience went to the whole page after that, like it fit. But let's imagine you want to save space, and then you can say relevant professional experience. And for example, after project manager, senior process specialist, say other job experience, and you could just list just dates and places and titles without explaining what you have done. If that is not so relevant to the job, if it is relevant, just keep it. So, and sometimes people write, for my full professional experience, check my LinkedIn profile. I'm also working with IT professionals, developers, and sometimes they have one-page CV where even having 10, 15 years of experience, I say for the full saying, just go to my LinkedIn and check if it's important. But usually it's not critical. So whatever feels right for you in that case, it's more important that you fit the exact role rather than how many pages you have in your CV. Yeah. Any questions regarding this particular one?
Thank you, Lydia, for the feedback. I have a question for the project list. So do I need to explain also the task of the projects, or is it enough just to make a list?
You mean here, right?
Yes.
I would explain.
Okay.
Yeah, I would explain, of course. Especially, to understand the scale of it a little bit better. I feel like it is important to explain. In this CV, nothing is like, I wouldn't tell you remove that or remove that. I feel like everything is important. Everything that I read is important. Yeah, it's an amazing, strong CV. It's I'm even surprised both of CVs that I have reviewed were very strong for the jobs. Nice. So I will maybe come back to here.
I have one question.
Please go on.
I did not say about language in this CV. Do
It
you
said,
filter with the language or not while looking the CV?
the job description did not mention that a person needs to speak Finnish fluently. In that case, English is enough. And the person speaks English as well. And I will even share a secret with you. For this particular person, the one who has sent the CV, I would even recommend applying to fully Finnish language job descriptions, because one of my recent podcasts was with a person with a very similar background, and 2 times they got a job by applying to Finnish roles, and they are now leading a project project managing a team of all Finns, but she is an international and doesn't speak Finnish. If someone wants to listen to that podcast, it might be interesting as well. So yeah, definitely. At the same time, for the first person who was speaking today, it's a marketing job. It has a lot to do with texts and language. And if we are talking about a bit of a smaller company and they require Finnish, it means that you need to be able to speak it at a native level. Just because you need to understand what's happening text-wise and being able to write copy if necessary. Yeah, hope I answered the question. Okay.
Yeah, I also have a question, but it's related to the cover letter. Yeah, do you think that the cover letter is important here in Finland? And if the application doesn't require the cover letter, should I attach it anyway?
Cover letters, my favorite topic nowadays. I dedicated the whole month to talking about cover letters. Is it okay if you mute yourself? Because I cannot, I can hear my echo. So cover letters in Finland. When I talk to recruiters, some of them say, even if we do not require a cover letter, but there is a field where you can include a cover letter, we would recommend to do that. At the same time, I personally am quite tired of cover letters, because the decision of inviting you to an interview is being made based on your CV. Let's be completely honest. Especially for middle to senior level professionals, like both of CVs we have reviewed, you can have absolutely ridiculous cover letters. You will still be invited to an interview because of your experience, because of what you have done. At the same time, if you are a career changer, you are at the beginning of your career applying for summer internships, there is not much you can show. And let's be honest, 600 applications, many had internships before, projects related to the company or the job description. Then CVs might be, or a cover letter might be the only way to stand out. So you can decide yourself. Can you write a good cover letter, good enough cover letter, not spending too much time on that? If yes, even if they do not require it, please attach one. And I always recommend to answer to 2 questions at least, and make it very short. One is, why this company exactly? Well, but why this company exactly? Ask that a few times, and you would need to research that. And the second question is, what makes you a strong candidate? What is your superpower, for example? And you can write about it as well without repeating your CV. It doesn't make any sense to repeat your CV in a cover letter, by the way. Yeah. There is another question. Yeah, you're welcome. You have a hand up.
Yeah, hello.
Hi.
Actually, you already mentioned most things, but I want to know, I have though I don't have any working experience in Finland right now, but I have more than 10 years of working experience from outside Finland. And currently I am doing my master's in finance. So actually, I try to apply for the summer jobs initial or for the trainee positions that mostly fits to my CV and my education. But surprisingly, I got mostly rejected, and I have work experience in bank actually, so I have applied for banks and also participated in the exam, written exam there. But even after that, even after having the uh, close job description and my experience matched, but I got rejected. So I want to know what's the basic reason behind this actually, and mostly uh, that jobs requires English as a main language, not Finnish.
Thank you a lot for your question, and thank you a lot for bringing it up. It happens, it comes up so often. So I'm happy to answer. First of all, you might not like what I say, I will explain. You are overqualified for most of summer jobs if you show in your CV 10 years of experience from before, even if it's not from Finland, because the summer jobs are basically created to help those who would like to start a career in this particular area. If someone is a student listening to you, they might be having this subconscious voice saying that, but how do I even get a chance if someone with 10 years of experience get hired for a summer job? So that's why companies usually prefer fresh or recent graduates and usually reject people with many years of experience, because the whole program for summer interns is built around mentoring and teaching, but you can mentor the hiring manager for this role. So it creates a weird as well, dynamic. So this is the reason why most likely you are being rejected. Now, what to do about it? I would definitely recommend applying for roles that are available within banks in Finland, if that fits your profile. And many people do get jobs because of your seniority level, especially if there is something matching your profile very well. At the
I
same
have one
time,
question.
can I finish very quickly?
I have one question. You just said about summer job. Yes, I want to know. I don't have any experience and I applied for a summer job. Then I got rejected saying you don't have enough experience.
Yeah, I will explain that as well. So to just wrap up with banking, banking is a very competitive area in Finland. So it's I wish that it would be easier for you, but a job where you apply would need to be very specific to your skills, and you would need to portray it very well in a CV to being invited to an interview. But you have a chance. Another way of doing that, it's not so ethical from an applicant's point of view, is basically make a new CV and start afresh. But of course, they can go to your LinkedIn profile and check your previous experience. So, it's a little bit a tricky situation. Now, about summer jobs and people who had zero experience, absolutely no experience. If you have the right education, it's again a difficult spot to answer for me, because companies would prefer someone who had a previous internship. An unpaid one even doesn't matter. That's why to everyone who is studying in Finland, I recommend to use this time to actually try to get internships while you study, even if they are to cover your study points. So basically, we cannot say unpaid because it's considered to be a part of your study process, and you are being insured by the university when you work for a company. And I would even go further and I would ask, what are the dream companies for you, dream industries? What is like that you absolutely love doing? And then I would ask you to build connections in this area, to ask for internships while you study, and then you have higher chances of securing summer internships that are paid. I'm sorry, this is Finland, and it is happening because demand and supply is not equal here. 600, 700 people apply for summer jobs. Okay, there is one other hand. Nagarajan.
Hey, hi, good morning, Lydia. I hope you're
Morning.
doing. Thank you so much for the wonderful session. I have a question here. So myself, I have I have more than 18 years experience in the field, what I have been working. Yeah. Still I have the same pain what we have been discussing about, with many of the participants here. I try sending out my, CV for the jobs which I, feel that is perfectly matching. But yeah, unfortunately, I get an unfortunately response. Unfortunately, your CV or we have decided to move out. So my question is very simple. Uh, I have heard this one theoretically, but I don't know how far it is real here in Finland. So it doesn't matter how much of experience we have. Say, for example, someone with a 15 years experience can still work at a junior level, and someone who has 2 years of experience, they can still go for a senior level. Uh, is it right the way I understand, or it is the traditional way, like person with more experience will be only be preferred or only would be recommended for a higher position and they cannot go crosswise? Is it right or how is it? Can you please
Mm-hmm.
put some lights on that? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My first desire was to say, no, it's not right. But at the same time, Finland is a network-based society. It can be that someone who had many years of experience because of the connections they have, people who trust them, get a more junior role in a company because they just knew this person. So those cases happen. But as soon as you apply outside, usually people who have 15 plus years of experience do not get junior roles. At least I haven't seen that happening. What I have seen happening is, for example, you have 5, 6 years of experience and a company is only asking for 1, 2 years. And then the person called the hiring manager and explained, hey, I have this many years of experience. I have also done this and that. Do you think I should still apply? And this person gets hired. Or another case, a person is coming from, let's say, India with 5 years of experience from the home country or 3 years of experience from the home country, goes through the integration course, and during this time gets, you need to have an internship to graduate from this school. And they go to work for a company doing exactly what they were doing, even though it's an internship. And then they can stay at the company if they were good enough. I know a few cases when it happened like that, even though they had many years of experience from before. So basically what I'm trying to say, yes, it does happen that you having many years of experience kickstart your career from a more junior role. But usually it's somehow like not through just applying. And I have never seen a case when someone having 2 years of experience would get a job that requires 10 years of experience. Maybe it exists, I just haven't seen it before.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that answer, Lydia. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Tao.
Hi, I have question about the CV. So, do you think that we should include the part-time job for someone who doesn't have enough experience? Like, even though that I have experience for the marketing job for 5 years, 5 years. But then before that, I do have experience when I was in my home country. So there's a gap when I moved to Finland, and I had to work part-time before I find a job, the marketing job. So should I include that part-time time because I'm studying at that time and I also work part-time at that time. So I don't know because the part-time job is not related to the job that I apply at all. So what is your suggestion?
I wanted to ask if it's related, and you said it's not related. So my answer might not be perfect. I'm just trying to come up with a quick solution. So if we would have sat for a long time together, we would have created something perfect. But now, because you have 5 years of experience from before, it might be that when you apply for a marketing role and your first job says, for example, asiakaspalvelu at some place, then it just might not make sense to a person reviewing, and they might reject you based on that. So maybe an option could be when you move to Finland, as a first line in your CV, you can say relocation and integration and language learning. And if you want to add under that, you can say been learning Finnish from 0 to this level, working part-time for this and that. And then your experience comes where you open up on everything you have been doing. So maybe that would be a little bit cleaner, for jobs. And if you're a marketer in Finland, also marketers is a community that you must absolutely join. Every marketer working in English knows each other within this community. Yeah, because of this community. Good luck. Good luck to you. Okay, we have only 1 minute left. If you have a very hot question and you didn't get an answer, for example, I checked the messages and there was a question, you can write an email to me. Definitely, just reach out to me and ask if you want. Thank you a lot for this session. Thank you everyone for being here and listening and asking questions as well.